What lawful basis was there for you to ask for her ID?
I don't know.
In order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
I do not know the law legally.
Okay. Doesn't there have to be reasonable suspicion that the person committed?
I love this, dude. Feelings. I think maybe I feel like the vibes are off, right? That's what we need to do, right? What, you expected the cops to know the law? What's next? A Supreme Court justice is supposed to know the amendments, the Constitution? Yeah.
Because I don't know the law exactly.
You don't know when an officer is allowed to detain somebody?
This is Sergeant Jennifer Larson and Lieutenant Donald Malazzo, both police officers that had served for over 20 years, being deposed for the illegal apprehension and arrest of a woman named Samantha, aka Pink Camera Magic, on YouTube, who had been recording at the Cook County Courthouse building from outside.
Wait a minute. You actually can get arrested for that? What the fuck? You can actually get arrested for doing cop shit? Like, this is the most cop shit of all time. No wonder they had no clue. Are you kidding me? Getting investigated for, like, arresting a First Amendment auditor is wild.
Hey, ma'am, you know this is a public building?
Exactly, that's why I'm recording it.
It's also a court facility?
Yep.
Which there is a judicial law or judicial order that says that you cannot tape this building.
Can I see that order?
Yes, come on in. We're going to check your IDs too.
Oh, no, I'm not going in.
Oh, yeah, no. We're going to run you too.
It's completely legal and upheld by the First Amendment to record federal buildings like that. It's easy First Amendment bait. No, I know that. We've watched a lot of First Amendment auditors and stuff like that, sovereign citizens. It's a fun thing that we like to do, where it's usually like a win-win for us because both parties, no matter which way it goes, both parties are like, the vibes are incredibly fucking annoying. However, the reality is that, like, I'm not shocked by anything other than the fact that the cops actually got genuine legal punishments for arresting a First Amendment auditor, because I've seen it happen so many fucking times and cops just like let it slide. That's why it's shocking.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
Because right now you are doing something suspicious.
That's not a reason to detain it.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't just fucking be like, yeah, I'm sussing you out. I don't like that.
You're going to come in and we're going to find out who you are and what you're doing here.
No, you're not.
Okay. All right, who's got cuffs? She does not want to go agreeable.
Wait, what do you mean? You don't have cuffs? What the fuck's happening? This guy was too lazy to have cuffs on him too? What the fuck?
The interaction begins with Lieutenant Milazzo approaching Samantha and stating that she can't record in a public building, and that is enough reason for him to detain her as she didn't provide her ID. But what Milazzo doesn't know is that what he's doing is actually illegal, as it is completely legal to take photographs or film public places in all states unless oral conversations are recorded, which is not the case here.
Okay.
I'm being detained for just taking pictures of the building.
Yes, ma'am. You're doing something suspicious, and we need to know who you are and why.
What an idiot, dude. You're being recorded, dumbass. Why are you doing, like, he's also being fucking recorded. The fact that he's like literally saying on the record, hey, I'm just arresting you on a vibes-based basis. Smartest thumb, dude. Very cool. This is what happens when you think you have no accountability whatsoever. Well, to be fair, though, I am legitimately shocked that he's not getting away with it. So I guess that's the reason.
After noticing multiple times that he was being recorded, Milazzo finally decided to aggressively grab Samantha's camera with which she was recording him, to later detain her and take her inside.
That includes my camera as far as consent.
Yeah, you can't look through her shit. What are you doing? God. Well, now the recording that's going on is the body camera recording.
It's already on.
Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
Oh, great. Why do we always get the crazies?
I don't know.
That second person in the scene, the one wearing the body cam, is Sergeant Jennifer Larson, and what she and Lieutenant Milazzo don't seem to
I love that they're not even like fucking beat cops. Like, that's a lieutenant. The other one's a sergeant. Like, bro, oh my God. My theory on cop phrenology is so real. Okay, let me explain something to you. They do not promote you within the police structure due to how good you are at policing. They promote you when you are as thumb-like as possible. Now, you already saw both of these cops are incredibly thumb-like. Like, this guy is straight up, he is so thumb-like he's about to be the commissioner, okay? That's how thumb-like he is. Yeah, this isn't even sovereign citizen shit. These are like basic amendments to know. Like, she's not even like doing the classic sovereign citizen of like, you're trying to detain me under suspicion, but this will not stand in a Admiralty Maritime Court or whatever. This is like just super basic stuff. You can't just detain me under like that you sussed my vibes and you said that it's fucking bad.
Samantha notices that Lieutenant Milazzo is doing something shady with her camera.
Did you delete my footage?
Do you want to cooperate or not?
Remaining silent.
The funniest part about it is that you can't really delete the footage. Unless you film something over it, you can definitely recover that shit. So there's also that too. Like, these motherfuckers are like, oh yeah, I just deleted your footage. What are you gonna do about it? It's like, well, nope, you didn't actually do that. So
You can either give us an ID so that we could do a report on this and find out who you are, or we're going to take you in front of the presiding judge. He's going to hold you in contempt, which means that he can hold you for as long as he wants.
Remaining silent.
Okay, let's do it.
no, he's
10
not.
minutes went by, and then Lieutenant Milazzo finally came back with news, or better called threats, against Samantha, who, as everyone should do, just remained in silence.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to probably take her in front of the judge.
Okay.
He's going to hold her in contempt for, I think right now he's doing 90 days.
By the way, I'm shocked with Samantha's composure here because, like, you know she's nutting right now. This is perhaps a First Amendment auditor's dream. So congratulations to her for keeping her mouth shut as she's literally creaming her pants. There is nothing better. It's like me finding out that the Georgia courts are going to live stream the entire Trump trial. That is the equivalent for a First Amendment auditor to get fucking arrested and have the cops openly state like, oh, it's just vibes based. Like, you're sus. I don't like that. And then turning around and then trying to delete the footage too.
All right, cuff her. Let's get her purse.
Ken.
Get her stuff.
I don't consent to searches.
Well, we don't care anymore, okay?
Samantha was finally handcuffed and arrested for obstruction to later be freed without any charges. But what the officers are unaware of is that not only did they commit an illegal act, but multiple: unlawful detainment, intimidation, illegal arrest, dereliction of duty, unlawful search and destruction of private property. Shortly after, Samantha was able to hire one of the best lawyers in the country and sued Cook County for multiple civil rights violations. The case has been going on for a few years now, and the conclusion is not yet known, but a part of all of this that we have is the following footage of both the deposition of Lieutenant Milazzo and Sergeant Jennifer Larson. What unfolded in the following never-before-seen footage is one of the biggest and most shocking proofs of ignorance of the law and ineptitude in police history.
Is it against the law to take pictures of a courthouse from outside?
No, not that I know.
Okay. Is it lawful to arrest somebody for taking pictures outside of a courthouse, of the courthouse?
No, not that I know.
In a nutshell, what's the case about?
I would say that Amanda, I guess I called you to say that she was outside videoing when she shouldn't have been. So she's saying we violated her amendment rights.
You're correct. When you say when she shouldn't have been, what does that mean? Was she doing something wrong?
Just something unusual, what us as officers would consider unusual.
Unusual, okay.
Having shown zero knowledge of the law,
Okay.
Samantha's lawyer then decides to push Sergeant Jennifer further to try to make her slip even more.
Depending on where you are in the country, Mormons are unusual. Depending on where you are, it might be unusual to see a Mormon. Do you get to detain Mormons in those places?
What? Yo, she went ahead and found the one lawyer that's like exactly like her, by the way. She did it. She went ahead and found the most First Amendment auditor adjacent lawyer I've ever heard of. This deposition is hilarious, okay? Awesome. Awesome logic, awesome lawyer. He's just being goofy with it. Fuck it. I mean, it's open and shut no matter what, I guess. So
Let me ask you this. Was Miss doing anything illegal when she was detained?
No, I would say it was not illegal, unusual.
Talking about unusual things, the statement that follows is something a police officer should never even be allowed to say.
In order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
I do not know the law legally.
And if you still think that at least Lieutenant Milazzo knew what he was doing, well, you're wrong.
What would you do if one of those people said to you, what's the difference between arrest and detain? What would your answer be?
We'd call legal.
Mr. Gorman, seated to your left?
No. Sheriff has their own legal.
Oh, okay. Their own legal who helps them understand things like the difference between arrest and detain?
Yes.
Gotcha. Was there a lawful basis to handcuff her?
Yes.
Okay, and what was that lawful basis?
Officer safety.
Here, Lieutenant Milazzo has just confirmed not to know the difference between an arrest and a detainment, an occasion in which, if they need help, he indicates they just go ahead and call the officer's lawyer to help them. The question remains then, how can someone work 27 years as a police officer?
Oh, God, I hate this so much. This is so fucking insane, dude. That's what I was trying to explain to you. Like, these guys are decorated, brother. There's a lieutenant and a sergeant. We're talking a lieutenant and a sergeant. These people have literally carte blanche, complete authority over your lives. They can arrest you. They can steal money from you. They can take your assets. They can kill you without legal repercussions. They can detain you, rob you of your freedom. And this guy's been doing it for 27 fucking years, dude. 27 years I've been a cop. And the entire time I've been making unlawful detainments. Where mama at? I'm a detained mama. No need, no reasonable, no probable cause. What's probable cause? Probably causing me to arrest you, I think.
And not know the law.
Did you have any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime?
We had reasonable suspicion to ask her what she was doing and why she was doing it, just to get who she was and why.
You and I agree on that you had the right to ask her whatever you wanted to ask her.
Yeah, but I'm a cop, sir. You don't understand. I can only do that within the context of me physically detaining and stopping someone from, living however they want to. You don't get it. That's why every interaction, I'm a cop. What's the question here? Every interaction you have with me is going to revolve around me somehow inconveniencing you, if not completely taking your freedoms away. Now, what I want people to understand, they're not like, their behavior is evil, right? The output is evil at the end of the day. But are they even aware of that? I feel like they're more so just too stupid. Like they're too stupid to understand what they're doing. This is what happens when you put fucking idiots in these positions of power where they're completely unaware of how awful they're behaving. This is why whenever we talk about like fucking ACAB or whatever, what many people cannot comprehend is that the structures are designed in a way for these dumb fucks to behave exactly like this, where it doesn't absolve them of the guilt, for the record. I'm not saying that at all. But they think that they're just doing the right thing. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. No one's ever punished me for it. I'm a fucking dumbass. They gave me a service weapon and handcuffs, and I've been doing this for like fucking 20 years. You know what I mean? Why would I stop? What do you mean? They knew what they were doing was wrong. They just thought they could get away with it. I don't even think they thought that what they were doing was wrong. I think they thought that this is normal process. Like, that's why the fucking 27 sergeant that's been there for 27 fucking years literally was like, oh, I don't know, I just call legal. I call legal. I think it's almost worse that, like, it's not individual evil people behaving with like a full understanding of their actions and the reactions that they are experiencing. It's that it's worse that it's just like the system has been designed in a way where like everyone, no matter what background they're coming from, behave like this. It's worse that you can have dumbasses who aren't like individually like, I wanted to fuck over this person, fuck this person. I hate people who like, run around with cameras. No, he's just like, you're suspicious. I don't get it. You're suspicious. And I thought I could get away with that. Like, why can't I get away with that?
Doesn't there have to be reasonable suspicion that the person committed a criminal offense or violated a law?
Because I don't know the law exactly.
At least we saw so far how Jennifer takes responsibility and accepts that she doesn't know the law, in big contrast to her lieutenant, who instead pretends not to understand any of the questions the lawyer asks and makes fun of the situation.
If you could go back in time to the day that you arrested her, would you still arrest her?
So you're asking me if I can go back in time?
Yeah.
I don't know how I could do that.
Dude, yo, this guy's awesome.
Do you understand my question?
I did, and you're asking me to suppose whether or not I can go back in time. I can't.
Okay, I like that. That's why he's the lieutenant, baby. But remember, dude, lawyers debate perverts, okay? I love him. I can't go back in time. I don't know what you're talking about. He's owning the debate pervert.
I can't tell you what would happen on that day if I went back in time, no.
Okay. Is this an attempt to be funny?
Not a bit.
Are you trying to answer my questions?
I'm trying to answer your question.
You really can't figure this out because you can't wrap your head around time travel.
I'm gonna object again. I mean, I'm gonna object. It's getting to be harassing again. I mean, is this what the question is? Hypothetical time travel backwards?
Is that really how you interpreted the question? Also?
Is that what you're asking? If he could go back in time, would he do it differently? Is that not what you're asking?
Yeah, that is what I asked him.
Going back to Sergeant Jennifer, the interrogation continues and her responses don't get any better as time goes on.
Is there any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime, yes or no?
We weren't sure what she was doing.
Okay, so if you don't know what somebody's doing, do you have reasonable suspicion that they're doing anything in particular?
No, but we have a reasonable response to ask what she was doing.
Right. Agreed. You could ask her what she's doing. And when she refuses to answer, are you now allowed to detain her?
Yes.
Who told you this?
The plaintiff lost in this case to what in God's name? The United States of America. You know how they say you can find out in like 94% of elections? I think it's 94%. Like something like the overwhelming majority, if not 100% of the elections, you can figure out who the winner is by looking at who got more funds. In the U.S. legal system, you can figure out who's going to win a court case like with a fairly reasonable accuracy by looking at who's being sued. Big corporation being sued, yeah, good luck, okay? Especially if they have the capacity to go judge shopping, which many of them do. You're fucked. Cops? Are you kidding me? The Supreme Court has protected the police right to not do their jobs on numerous occasions. You understand? They are the biggest babies in the American workforce. The absolute biggest fucking babies. She won, I believe. So why are people saying she lost? Amanda V. Milazzo, she won one of them at least, I think. Settlement amount $15,000. That's nothing. She got nothing out of that. Billionaire streaming saying $50K is nothing. No, like I'm saying, these guys have unlimited funds that we are paying for. $15K is like not that much. She could have got more for unlawful detainment, in my opinion. Yeah, here, Town of Castle Rock v. Gonzalez. Castle Rock v. Gonzalez is a United States Supreme Court case in which the court ruled 7-2 that a town and its police department could not be sued for failing to enforce a restraining order, which had led to the murders of a woman's 3 children by her estranged husband. The decision has since become infamous and condemned by several human rights groups. There's another one as well. What is the duty to retreat? There's another one. There's another Supreme Court case on the guy being stabbed in the subway. What the fuck was that one called? Police have no duty to protect you. Like they do not. They can't be sued if they refuse to protect you in a situation where they feel scared. Isn't that crazy? This was 8-1 decision for North Carolina, where the court held that a search or seizure is reasonable under the Fourth Amendment when an officer has made a reasonable factual or legal mistake. Because Fourth Amendment jurisprudence turns on the question of reasonableness, governing officials have traditionally been allowed leeway to enforce the law for the community's protection. As long as the mistake of fact or law in question was reasonable, the Fourth Amendment does not hold such mistakes to be incompatible with the concept of a reasonable suspicion. So this one is, as long as you're too stupid and you don't fully understand that you're violating the law, as a police officer, you can violate the Fourth Amendment. Warren v. District of Columbia, case that held that the police do not owe a specific duty to provide police services to specific citizens based on the public duty doctrine. And then the last one that we were talking about is, the Maxim Gelman stabbing situation. Lozito v. New York City. On the spring of 2012, Joseph Lozito, who was brutally stabbed and grievously wounded, deeply slashed around the head and neck, sued the police for negligence in failing to render assistance to him as he was being attacked by Gelman. Lozito told reporters that he decided to file the lawsuit after learning from a grand jury member that NYPD officer Terrence Howell testified that he hid from Gelman before and while Lozito was being attacked because Howell thought Gelman had a gun. In response to the suit, attorneys with the city of New York argued that the police had no duty to protect Lozito or any other person from Gelman. This guy was getting brutally fucking stabbed, slashed around the head and the neck. Cops were literally there and they hid as they watched him get repeatedly stabbed and Yeah, the cracked video we watched before, he actually narrates it himself.
That creepy guy, who I'd later learn was Gelman, started banging on the door of the engineer's compartment.
Let me in.
I was sitting right by the door. The only thing separating the engineer and myself was a wall. It turned out there were 2 cops on the other side of the door, lying in wait in case Gelman hopped on this train. I found out later they'd recognized him, but they didn't charge out to stop him. Instead, they asked him a polite question.
Who are you?
I'm the police.
You're not the police.
You'd expect 2 armed cops to, I don't know, maybe do something about a wanted fugitive spree killer that they were on the train specifically to arrest, but they stayed put. So Gelman walked up to me, whipped out an 8-inch knife and told me,
"You're going to die."
Then he stabbed me. I was in the sort of situation every man thinks about at least twice a day. Suddenly thrust into a life or death situation that required me to become a badass. Unfortunately, I had no badass training. But I have watched a lot of MMA, and when he brought back his arm to stab me again, I decided to dive in for a single leg takedown. But in reality, I shot in too high and wound up tackling him by the waist, rather than getting him in the leg. So he stabbed me repeatedly in the skull. I outweighed Gelman by a lot, so he went down despite the power of a knife on his side. So we're both on the ground, I'm on top, and he's still got his stabbing machine in hand. I tried to grab his right hand, which held the knife, with my left. But I missed, and he sliced me good in the thumb. I tried to catch him a second time and failed, so he slashed me again in my left tricep. My third grab was a chom, though. I caught his hand and slammed it into the ground. He dropped the knife. Once I had him pinned and was, dying of blood loss, the cops decided it was safe enough to arrest Gelman.
Dude, how fucking insane is that? They just waited. This guy is getting ruthlessly and brutally fucking stabbed, and they're just out there waiting and hiding for the guy who's getting fucking stabbed to finish the job that they're supposed to be doing. I don't know, man. I don't think cops should legally be obligated to put themselves in danger. They're human beings with loved ones, regardless of how toxic the institution is. I abso-fucking-lutely believe that cops should be legally obligated to put themselves in danger. Are you out of your mind? Then there should be no cops then. This is the abolitionist perspective. What you are promoting here is basically no cops. It's fine. That is literally the job. The job doesn't say wait out a person getting mounted by a psycho. Okay, the job says protect and serve. Like you're literally looking at Uvalde and going, fucking, they're human, fuck it, YOLO. Can you imagine having this kind of situation, like telling firefighters, like, hey guys, let's not put this one out. Guys, let's not put this one out. It's too hot. Sorry. Can't do that, actually. Can't put this fire out, baby. This is... Oh, you're telling me it's my job? Well, guess what? I don't have a duty to do this. What do you mean? Just let him cook. Fuck it. The entire reason as to why policing as an institution is theoretically supposed to exist, like the way they sell it to the public, that these fucking thugs running around with unchecked power, with like an incredible amount of power, where they can get away with just like fucking shooting you, killing you, whatever. The reason why they can do that is because they're supposedly diving in front of bullets and even dicks when rapes are happening. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're doing. They're just like diving in front of bullets all the time, right? That's what they're supposed to be doing. If they're not doing that, if there's a crime happening directly in front of a fucking cop and the cop is not stopping that crime, by the way, look to San Francisco, for example, for wonderful examples of this that happens literally in broad daylight all the fucking time, which breaks the brains of all these like Silicon Valley tech guys, then what good are you doing? Why are you getting paid? Why do you have a salary? Are you getting paid to fucking sit around in a subway waiting for like a 14-year-old to jump the fare so you could beat the shit out of them and arrest them while playing Pokemon Go in between? Like what's the deal here? Why do you have a gun then? Why are you allowed to use your gun? Why do you have a gun? Why do you have the right to literally remove someone's freedoms away? Why can you detain someone? Big Hoss, that take kind of made sense to me. I definitely learned something, but if someone chooses to serve the community, why should they be obligated to go to any length? Brother, the job requirement is putting your life on the line. Now, this doesn't extend to like every circumstance. It is within the bounds of reason, and that vagueness can exist. This law, on the other hand, turns that vagueness into anytime a cop is afraid or claims that they are afraid. Just like on the other side, if we're talking about the offensive freedoms that cops have, right? The freedom to kill someone who is running away, for example, then it's already also allowed legally for them to just shoot to kill, because as long as they are personally afraid for their own lives, they're allowed to kill someone that is unarmed, and they will not get in trouble for it. So we're burning the candle on fucking both ends. As long as they are personally afraid that the other guy is going to kill them or other people, okay, they can shoot and kill you even if you're running away. And as long as they're personally afraid, they can also get away with just not doing their job. There needs to be some consideration there for like their personal fears. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm a scaredy cat. If you're going to be a scaredy cat in that situation, then why the fuck do you have a gun? Like, you're not allowed. Take it away. Your duty in that situation is to be that guy. Okay, this is the one very unique circumstance where you are supposed to be adequately trained, adequately geared up, and willing to do the job that is necessary. That's your job. That's literally your job. Your job is to stop a murder from occurring right in front of your fucking eyes in broad daylight.
Okay, so if you don't know what somebody's doing, do you have reasonable suspicion that they're doing anything in particular?
No, but we have a reasonable response to ask what she was doing.
Right. Agreed. You could ask her what she's doing. And when she refuses to answer, are you now allowed to detain her?
Yes.
Who told you this? That you get to detain people who are videoing and refuse to identify themselves when asked?
That is the face of someone getting caught, being held accountable, and humiliated for their illicit actions. Despite always refusing to admit that she had done wrong, everything was captured on camera, and the answer is clear as water at this point. But this is not over, as in complete opposite to Sergeant Larson, Lieutenant Milazzo wasn't going to go down without a fight.
Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment, by the way?
Vaguely.
What does it say in your own vague terms?
Dude, come on. He's definitely familiar with the Fourth Amendment. The entire point is he needs to be aware of it so he knows when he's violating it, which he knows. He knows how to violate it.
No illegal search and seizure.
Right, unless there's...
Probable cause.
Or...
Okay. That's about all I know.
Okay, all right, good enough. You said that's about all I know. There was somebody else who asked you the same question that I just asked you about your familiarity with the Fourth Amendment. Who's in this room right now? Do you know who that person was? My client. This asked you that, didn't she?
I don't recall.
She asked you, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment? You don't remember that?
No.
Lieutenant Milazzo admits not to recall neither the location in which this happened nor who actually asked him, when in reality, all of us know that it was Samantha and he's just playing dumb, and everything was recorded as we saw before.
I talked to a lawyer.
Okay, call your lawyer.
That includes my camera as far as consent.
Well, it's already on.
Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
Oh, great. Why do we always get the crazies?
I don't know.
After recalling the incident, the lawyer brings up his offensive comment towards Samantha at the time.
If I tell you that your answer was, oh great, why do we always get the crazies, would you dispute that?
No.
Does that sound like something you would say to somebody?
That's something I did say that day, yes.
So you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember saying that in response to the question, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
No, I just remember saying it.
Why is it that you felt she was one of the crazies?
When people act in a way that is not in their best interest.
How is she acting that was not in her best interest?
Well, at any time, all she had to do is identify herself. We could have done our report.
And if somebody were to threaten you that unless you comply with their demands, they're going to put you in handcuffs, would you automatically necessarily comply with their demands?
Yes.
No object.
You would.
Calls for speculation.
He was able to answer. So you would. So even if there's somebody who is acting as a law enforcement officer, giving you an unlawful order, threatening you with detainment or arrest or...
By the way, I'm glad I covered all of the legal permissions given to these fucking hogs leading up to this, so you understand that in his mind, that is literally the case. That, like, yes, not appealing to my authority, not immediately succumbing and conceding to my authority in any given circumstance, no matter how low the stakes are, means that you are in violation of the law. Because technically I could kill you, for example, and fucking that's pretty crazy. That's nutty that I could just kill you and you're not following my authority. You're not following the words that I am speaking to you. Okay? Because that in and of itself is insane. You're belligerent. How do you not follow? How do you not listen to a cop?
Yes.
Having heard multiple times the need for a person to identify himself when requested by a police officer, the lawyer then decides to question Lieutenant Milazzo further in the topic.
Is there a law that requires people to identify themselves when requested by law enforcement?
I don't know.
And when asked if he had deleted the files from his camera, he blatantly denies it, despite it all having been recorded by the body cam the sergeant had at the moment.
Did you delete her pictures?
No.
Who did?
Don't know.
You don't know who deleted her pictures?
No.
By the time you got in front of Judge Peter Felice.
Damn, that's crazy, man. I don't know who. How did that? It just kind of happened. My man is so used to testifying, he's just on the spot during the deposition. He's just dropping them. He's just dropping the bars, baby.
They were deleted, weren't they?
As far as I know, they were still on there.
You grabbed her camera away from her outside, did you not?
Yes.
From that point until you were in front of Judge Peter Felice, did she ever hold her camera again?
No.
Okay, so you had it the entire time.
Yes.
Didn't Judge Peter Felice talk to you about whether the pictures had been deleted?
He asked for the memory thing so he could delete them.
He asked for the memory thing so he could delete them. Not only did Milazzo prove the lawyer's point of the pictures being deleted, but he also had just involved a judge in the same illicit act.
Did he just fucking... Bro, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, the judge deleted it, actually. He told me, please delete these. This is embarrassing. That's awesome. Respect. Listen, bro, judges are not a part of the thin blue line. You know what I'm saying?
And if he were to testify at some point in time that he absolutely, categorically did not delete those pictures, then would you want to change your answer as to whether you or one of your people did?
I'm going to object. Calls for speculation.
No one had custody of the camera but me.
Okay. Would it have been lawful for you to delete her pictures?
I don't know.
Well, what do you think? Are you allowed to go over to people's pictures and delete them?
No.
Without a court order?
No.
All right. That would be a violation of which amendment? Do you know?
No.
If up until now he had been able to resist when questioned about his unlawful actions against Samantha when she requested a lawyer after being arrested, was the last nail in the coffin for Lieutenant Milazzo.
What do you do if somebody says they want to talk to a lawyer and you have them in handcuffs?
We allow them to call a lawyer.
Do you keep asking?
Wait, this guy's getting fired? I don't think this guy got fired. I would be shocked if he did.
It depends on the case.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Tell me the case in which you would continue to ask questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer.
If we're doing an investigation, we're going to ask.
I got you. Okay. Do you know which amendment it is that allows people to demand a lawyer? Do you have any idea?
No.
Have you ever read anybody the Miranda rights?
No.
You've never read anybody their Miranda rights?
No.
Have you ever arrested anybody?
No.
Other than Ms. Berquist?
No.
Wait, 27 years? He's never arrested anybody? Wait, what's happening? Is he just fucking lying? What's happening here? I don't understand. Someone explain to me what's happening. Desk cop? Employee of the decade? At first, when he said he's never read anybody their Miranda rights, I was like, damn, that's bold. 27 years, and he just like straight up has never read the Miranda rights one time over God knows however many fucking arrests. And then he's like, nah, I've never arrested anybody except for the lady. That's my first one. Damn, dude, what a track record. First arrest, and he's already fucking, he's under legal scrutiny. 0 for 1, baby. Shit's fucked up.
And you don't know the Miranda rights?
Not offhand, no.
All right.
Bro, you've watched a TV show. I've given up on like other cops teaching him, maybe on accident, over the course of like his 27 years on duty. He's watched a show, like any show, like one TV show. That's it. On accident, you will hear it. He's watching a TV show. He's like, what is that thing that they're saying? And he like turns to his wife. He's like, hey, notice how the cops are saying something right before they arrest? Right before they put the fucking handcuffs on the person? How silly. Why are they doing that? What is happening? They're like, I never really understood why they do that in the movies. Is that normal? I'm supposed to do that? That's weird.
When you arrest somebody, do you have to advise them that they have the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Do you have to advise them that they have the right to an attorney?
Yes.
Oh my God, he didn't know what that was called. Dude, stop. No way, bro. Ain't no fucking way, bro. Someone that just failed the tutorial mission. How is this guy a cop?
Do you have to advise them that if they cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to them?
Yes.
Now, what if somebody says, yes, I want to talk to an attorney? Do you get to keep asking them questions? Or do you have to call a lawyer for them before you want to ask any more questions?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know if you're allowed to keep asking questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer?
No.
How long have you been employed at Cook County Sheriff's?
27 years.
27 years. I imagine you only became a lieutenant recently?
No.
How long ago did you become a lieutenant?
22 years ago?
You've been a lieutenant for 22 years and you don't know the Miranda rights?
Yes.
The case remains open, but this is immaculate evidence proving how wrong the police officers were against Samantha. If you enjoyed this video, watch this one, and we'll see you next time.
So we found out that they actually lost, like the cops lost the case, or at least they settled for 15 grand, which is not a lot.